guys. I thought, the biggest concern going into the game was Minnesota's size and their length, and the guys just knew that they had to be really disruptive, and they had to be, get underneath them as much as possible and just make those passes as difficult as they could. Luckily, we had kind of faced similar size in the Dayton game, so I think they really understood, when it was discussed of how important it was, because when Garcia, them Payne and those guys are bearing you underneath, they work so hard and they're so big and so physical that there's not much you can do when you're beat at the beginning, except just hope something goes your way. But I thought the guys did a really good job, a lot of deflections, a lot of turnovers that were untimely for them to kind of allowed us to run out. And but overall, I thought an unbelievable effort, and then just a good way to finish the trip.
Did you think this was the most complete game that you guys played this year? Both ends of the court sort of helping each other out.
Yeah, maybe minus the last minute and a half, but they without question though got off to a great start. 42% in the first half, 47% from three in the first half. I think that's much more of an indicator of what this team can do on a regular basis. We are a good shooting group. We are a group that can get in the paint and make plays for each other, get multiple paint touches, create advantages for each other, and good clean looks. And I think in the first half we really did that. But obviously the difference in the game was just getting off to that separation in the middle of the first half.
6 wins in a row, stay undefeated on the road. What does tonight's win say about your team, Coach?
It was just a great end to kind of a 12-day stretch of 4 games in 12 days. Guys worked, and after each game they were ready to go on to the next one. We talk about that a lot with them. Having the mentality of 1 down, 1 to go. So when tonight's game ended, we talked about, all right, that's 1 down now, it's 1 to go on Saturday. Just focusing about what's right there in front of you. But I think a lot of that's just the leadership and the experience. And when you talk about Parquet, you talk about Lou, you talk about Harkless, you talk about Jordan, Justin. You can go down the list really. Of course, minus Keyshawn Hall is the only freshman of guys that just they know what it takes to prepare. And I think tonight was a great example of that. Great walkthrough yesterday. They were locked in. They were focused. Some guys got shots. Some guys kind of got off their feet, stretched a little bit. So they knew what they needed to do to get ready. And it was kind of fun to look back on now and see that kind of that mature approach that they took.
You talked about the start a little bit, but you guys have been chasing games the last couple. What really went right for you guys to get out of that hot start today?
Of course I haven't seen it yet, but just going from memory, having a few offensive rebound threes, having a few transition plays go our way, kind of setting the tone defensively with deflections and turnovers, creating. I think we had 11 forced turnovers in the first half. Just when EP got his second foul, obviously that's a huge advantage for us when Eli Parquet can guard the ball, full court because of the pressure he can put on the ball handler. But Justin Webster came in and had a near flawless first half, even though it wasn't a ton of scoring. Jackie came in and hit some huge shots in the first half to kind of keep it going. So not really having any minute or two of transitioning between lineups, I think, was the reason that the first half was probably maybe even our best half of the year.
You talked a little bit about Webster there, but what have you really liked? He hasn't quite had his shooting that he had last season yet, but it seems like he's doing all the little things for you guys.
Well, the best part about Justin is he'll never change. If you see him, if he played 2 minutes or 30 minutes, he's never going to change. He's going to be the exact same person when we meet tomorrow for Thanksgiving lunch that he was yesterday at 1, he was today at 1. He's the exact person. And having that approach from a guy, like I said, he'll play whatever you ask him to do is such a nice sense of security for a coaching staff. Just because of you never have to give him any brain space. But he's going to go in there, he's going to play hard, he's going to try to make plays for others. He puts a lot of pressure on himself, I think, to make shots, to kind of be a part of that wave that was going on there in the second half. But again, he doesn't get a ton of looks, and he's okay with that. So we just got to talk to him, just relax. They're going to fall.
Right at the start of the second half, Eli Parquet had a play where he got knocked down under the basket and he hustled back in transition and blocked the three-pointer from the opposite corner. What does that say about him being that defender you're talking about, and also what kind of influence can a player like that have on his teammates seeing him make it?
Well, Eli Parquet, I mean, he's one of the best athletes on the planet. He's fun to watch run. He's fun to watch slide his feet. We'd like to see him be a little more aggressive at the rim, a little more attack mentality because, but he went in there off 1 foot, didn't get a good result, but got up and then blocked, I believe it was Battles 3 in the corner. He was, all of 6'7", maybe taller. And it was a huge play because he could have, rolled around on the ground for a little bit or, complained about a foul. I mean, there wasn't one, but you never know. But he got up, went back down, made a really big play because if they hit that 3 in the corner, then we'll probably talk about taking an early timeout and adjusting.
How big is what Vic is doing right now in terms of setting a tone to work out there? He did a good job on the boards. I think there was a set of plays where you guys had 1 second on the shot clock. I think he set the screen for Jackie to get the shot off. Jackie misses, and then Vic is there to get the offensive rebound from like 15 feet away.
Yeah, and what's happening so far this season with Vic is the rebounds are actually showing up in the stat sheet. I think last year, later in the year, when we were kind of going through a lot of injuries, and there were a lot of times where he was out there with either Royce or David or by himself, but the other guy would get the rebound. He'll get a hand on it, or he'll force the opponent to box him out. So I think we've seen that a couple times where Eli's gone in and got a huge rebound because they're focused on boxing out Vic. So it's great to see him show up with 9 rebounds, but his impact has been, he has had a great start to the year so far, and it just gives us an added weapon.
How nice is that to see for Vic, especially when he went through all those injuries at the beginning of last year?
Well, it's great to see, and I've known Vic since started recruiting when I was at Oklahoma, and got a chance to watch him, talk to him in high school. So then, obviously, went to Oklahoma, and to have him over here, known Vic a long time, and to see him, the best part about Vic is he doesn't care. He's a lot like Justin. He's a lot like Webb, where he doesn't want the points. He doesn't put his value towards points or shot attempts or even minutes. But that last time out, he jumped up, and when he's getting more vocal, but he jumps up and he says, "Guys, I'm gonna start setting flares against the zone. So when take a look, they'll be open in the corner." That's such a mature thing to do. His only concern is getting his teammates open to get good looks, and then of course obviously his value on the offensive rebounding side, and then the way he can guard the ball. He finishes with no points, 0 for 1. But here we are talking about him in the press conference.
How much of an affirmation can it be for you guys to travel to an event and win it pretty convincingly?
Yeah, it's great because there was a lot of talk of having 4 games in Thomas and Mack to start the year, and so to get away from the Thomas and Mack and get into a different setting, play kind of both into the extreme, with Southern Illinois being a little smaller but incredibly physical, and in sync and together, to coming tonight to playing a giant Minnesota team that does an unbelievable job of making you guard the paint, but challenges you to kind of move the ball as much as possible, and then to do it away from home is great. It's great to kind of get that game day routine away from the Thomas and Mack. But again, we can kind of go back to why that Canada trip is so important. You kind of have
one question for the house. Your impressions of this young tournament?
I'm sorry?
Your impressions of this young tournament experience?
It's great. It's great. The amenities, the hotel was awesome. It was the guys really enjoyed it. Obviously, the scenery out that way is about as great as it gets, and I know we had a great time, and we'll look forward to having the opportunity to come back in the future.
It seems like these 2 games have been a bit of a learning curve for David. What are you hoping he takes away from these last 2 games?
Well, the thing that nobody really knows about is David's fighting a little bit of an injury, but he's playing through it to the best of his ability. And you can always tell kind of the level of bothered that he is by an injury he just kind of gets a little quiet. And David, until these last 2 games, has had an unbelievable start to the year, but he was a little bothered by it, and you can tell. But he went out, he fought, he competed, he never said a word. He just tried to do what he did, but when he came out, he never made a mention of leaving him in, playing through mistakes, whatever the comment may be. by somebody who's frustrated with the playing time. But so, you know, he was happy and excited for Vic. He knows that those two working together is what has made us get off to a good start.
We'll get these players over here now. Unless you want to keep talking.
I had one more real quick.
One more, would you?
What's on the Thanksgiving lunch menu, and if there's only 2 turkey legs, who gets them?
Well, Lou and EJ are here waiting to come up to the podium so they can have the 2 turkey legs. But Deshaun Henry's in charge of that, so I would imagine that once you walk into the Mendenhall Center, you're going to be able to know that we've got a pretty big feast going on upstairs. And I'm sure once you step upstairs, from the time you step from the door to the refrigerator, you're probably going to be passing food the entire way, because one thing Deshaun likes to say is we eat. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. We'll have some football and basketball going, and be able to spend some time together without, coach and player or instruction or any of that.
EJ Harkless on the left and Luis Rodriguez on the right. Questions for them?
Luis, just to start, how did it feel to have this kind of performance with your family in the stands today?
Major, there's a lot of the reason why I decided to come play, be just having that support, being closer to home, so it's just them being there was everything.
What was your guys' kind of objective today, playing Minnesota? What were you guys trying to force them to do?
We know we could speed up their guards. We know they was big, so, just be physical, it's gonna be a rebounding game. We knew that we had the speed on them because they're so big, so just get out and run, make plays, play for each other, let our defense keep carrying us, and just play hard.
EJ, you guys closed the first half on a 19-4 run. What sparked that? How were you guys able to do that?
Jackie made some big shots. Everybody stayed together. We got to use our depth kind of, and kept the defensive intensity up and kept rebounding. I think it would have been better if we got to finish some rebounds, but they kind of got 4 offensive rebounds back to back to back. Something that we got to clean up, but I think we did a great job of just sticking to the game plan and just not letting them do what they wanted to do, which was get inside where they're comfortable at.
Did this feel like the most complete game you guys have played so far, at both ends of the floor at the same time?
I say so, because, they do something really well. They score in the paint, and that's something that we had kind of, a thing that we got to check off to get better at, and I think we did that tonight. They got great big size, great players on the other side. They came ready to play, but I think our defense was just really good tonight. I think we did a great job of preparing. I think that was the biggest thing.
Luis, what kind of emotions were going through you when you threw that windmill dunk right at the end there?
First, I was just happy I completed it before anything else, but just get a fans, I know my people in the stands, Rebel fans are there, so just kind of the adrenaline took over, and I was like, I know I could do this, so let me go do it. So
Lou, what does it say about your team when you can come to an event and win it convincingly, beat 2 teams and you're the champs?
Just the character of our team, how hard we work. I know everybody puts the work in, and everybody talk about, extra reps and being in the gym, but I got some teammates that really live and die in this game, and they're really in the gym all day in the gym. So just seeing all our hard work come, together, and just all the preparation, like he was talking about, that we night in, night out, just preparing and stuff like that. So it's special for us to, we deserve it, I'll say. So, it coming together, it's everything for us. It's a blessing.
Did you guys get a surfboard? Can anyone on this team surf? Everyone use that?
Probably Jordan.
Jordan
can do some random stuff for sure.
Yeah. Being from Cali, I thought I could surf. I went out there, them waves was too much for me, so I can't really do much with that. But I can boogie board for sure.
Lou, you transferred back to UNLV to get a little closer to home. What was it like playing out here in Southern California in general?
Nah, it was great, man. Kind of forgot the value playing in Oklahoma for so long. Kind of your mom was the only one that really could make that trip, but everybody wanted to come out and support it. That was amazing. Seeing them in the stands, seeing kind of people I ain't seen in years coming out to support me, support UNLV, man. It's great. You know, something I definitely forgot the value of, and something I definitely enjoyed, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to play in front of them. You know, kind of my senior year, my last West Coast kind of trip.
Lou, what would your family have said if you hadn't made the windmill dunk?
They would have, but you know, they encourage me all the time. So even if I would have missed it, I'm sure they would just get back on defense or something like that. But
Appreciate it.